I hit it fast. Unbelievable. I played football in high school, and I played golf at Chalmette High. And I'm in the St. Bernard Sports Hall of Fame, mostly for teaching golf, but I like to think the football was 1%. But we didn't really have much of a golf team. Ragtag group of guys. I was the #1 man my last 3 years. We had a guy named Tommy Dorsey, not to be confused with the band leader. That was the #1 man my freshman year. Good dude, had a good swing. And it was very fun for me to go to college and walk on at 2 places. University of New Orleans, which is now LSUNO, and Southeastern Louisiana University. Was there for a year on the golf team both times. Not such a big thing anymore. They really don't let you walk on. But there was a tryout, there was qualifying. I became one of the best players on both teams. Now, all of those guys are probably still playing golf. And we've got one of them from UNO today. Billy Harrison was one of the best amateur players in New Orleans in his day, is a school teacher of some note, and having a little trouble with his golf game. We're going to get him fixed up and send him on the road to play in the next big team event. All right, so we're here with my dear old college teammate, Billy Harrison, who has mostly been in New Orleans like me, but you had a detour like I had with Kentucky. You went to Atlanta for a while.
Yeah, from 90 to 96.
How about that? And you've been in teaching and coaching the whole time.
Been at Country Day. Well, I was in teaching and coaching in Atlanta and at Country Day until this summer. And we'll be at Dominican in about 3 weeks.
How about that? And you're having the same issues everybody else has when you get to be our age, right? You lose a little distance. You don't get to practice as much.
And lose flexibility.
Yeah. Well, but you lifted some weights.
Lifting weights.
And I watched you make a couple of swings when we were setting up, and it looked pretty good. You know what's interesting? You don't know this. If somebody walked up to me a month ago and said, word association, Billy Harrison, I go, #2 at Timberlane, he would hit the ball in the trees and always have a shot.
Yeah, maybe so. I'm thinking about that dog leg right,
because you hit a draw basically back then, right? And that was a weird hole because it was a dog leg right.
And you'd go over it.
Yeah, that would be your only way to draw it in the fairway, right? You still hit a draw.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why. But one of the things, Brian, that's going to be very interesting about this is I've really never seen my swing on video.
Oh, how about that? Well, we got a few cameras going on in here.
Yeah,
so
I'm counting. I can see at least 10 or 12.
At least. Let's see, we have 9 gears cameras, 2 color gears cameras, so that's 11. We have 4 cameras shoot for the Brian Manzella show, and we've got 6 JC video cameras. So I don't know what that makes, but you count the webcams, it's 100. So maybe about this much inside the ball line. Right down that white line.
All right, let's see.
Got it.
Again, my whole mission is not to hit your blue wall.
Yeah, well, the screen though is mandatory.
Maybe.
Okay, cool beans. Let's take a look at this. When you were warming up, this is pretty much your deal. Now, this is interesting for not only for you that have never seen it, but for all the folks watching the show, because this is not one you see every day.
Yeah, I feel like I just saw that. I feel like I'm going up. Well, I don't know.
Like a lot of hookers do, right? Drawers, right? You take the club in, open the face a lot, but I promise you, when you were younger, because I can visualize your swing. You know, we talk about all the old guys, Chris Henry, Randy Oka, Mike Ziopoulos, all of those guys. You remember your college teammate swings because you played so many rounds with them. You would take the club back all the way kind of to parallel, right? And now you can see it doesn't get there. So the combination of, you know that the shot is going to turn over, right? And you're going, that what you've developed over the years is I'm going to open, 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 open. If you twist the club open and roll your arm open, that's your 2 things you can open. You can still do those 2 things and make enough backswing where the club kind of gets somewhat in a normal position. But if you take it back this far, we call this the 225 club, right? You got 0 degrees, 90 degrees, right? 180.
Yep.
This all the way to 270, so you're like 240 right there. Look at how laid off the club is and how open it is.
Oh yeah, I can see
Right?
it.
So you really are in a pickle here because if you didn't jump on top of that double open club face, you'd hit some balls that would hit this wall.
Well, that's what I was saying. I said my goal is not to hit the
Yeah, the
blue
sidewall,
wall.
right? Yeah.
And so about 4 or 5 years ago, a shank, not with a 6 irons, a shank with a sand wedge or maybe down to a 9 iron would show up every now and then on the range.
Yeah.
And now in the last year or two, it's transferred itself to maybe once every 3 or 4 rounds, it shows up on the golf course. And so there'll be right after that, I've got the ball out here on a 9 iron.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's one way to do it, right?
I'm going to cover it.
But this is an important thing for everybody here because the shank is always supposedly so mysterious. It's really not that mysterious. If you take this club right here, I had it out yesterday. It used to screw into a TaylorMade head, right? The shaft. Buy some lead tape and tape up the end of this so it weighs the same as a golf club. Right now it feels like a shaft, right? I mean, this head is like 270 grams on an iron. I give you this, you make contact. It might not go straight, but you'll hit the ball. And if I take a 6-year-old kid who's half coordinated and I give him a shorter version of that, they'll hit it with the shaft. So why do people not hit the ball on the shaft more often? Because you can feel that the center of mass of this object is off the shaft. Okay, that's how you hit a golf ball. And that's how raw beginners can pick up a golf club, grip it like,
However
they're
do.
holding a salami and hit the ball on the face and not the shaft. And yet somebody who can play golf and can shoot in the 60s if everything goes right, get in this position right here, and you're even money to have to do something funny to square that club up. So here's the general rule of thumb for all you golfers out there. Go ahead and set up, Billy.
Okay.
And say we're coming down and we're like right there. Right, now this club looks like this. Over here. If we put an ant on this face, right about the time where you start releasing, losing your angles, right? And the ant, looking at the ball, can't see the ball because the hosel is in the way of the ant seeing the ball. The mass of the club head that you're used to getting, on the other side of the shaft, and the shaft, or as one, as like we melted this whole thing down and put it on the shaft. And the only reason you don't shank it is you've always been a good player, and you know that at some point it's going to square up. It's not that people shank it because they keep the face open. It's because at the point they start going to the ball, the hosel and the sweet spot are on the same track. So we've got to get that club face right there by hook or crook where we can see some of it. Because right now, if you look at it from that angle,
Can't see
where's the club at? It is gone.
Yeah, I can see it. And I see it even more in that second one over to the right, how wide.
It's open. And it's still really open, really open, really open. But you're a drawer and you know how to square it up. So you give it that little at the bottom and it squares up. But when you're doing that, it's such a dramatic, like, stop your body and fling the club through to square it up, that the club comes out really high right here, like just super high. And if you go from pretty much below this line right here to above this line, that's just another way to say inside out. So I think what we do, and I think it's going to be pretty easy, is we take this top of the backswing position that couldn't be any more double rotated, meaning the arm, this arm and club unit, like this, like a big pizza pie. Do it this way. This triangle right here, there's square, right? It's like
I get it.
pepperoni, 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 sauce and cheese, crust. So now this camera is looking at the crust, right? So if I close it, I'm looking like straight down on the crust. Look how close the club is. If I open it as much as I can, I'm looking at the pizza. Good thing I'm not hungry. I take a bite. So now that's as much pizza as you're going to see.
Right.
and then you come down, it's even more pizza. We've got to get this sucker so that you're kind of looking at the edge more.
Gotcha.
That would be like a neutral position. If we could do that, that might fix itself. We go have some beignets or something.
And this seems, my grip, I'm just looking at that, that seems okay.
We're going to leave it for now.
Okay.
See, one little thing, and it's nothing major. Make your backswing. So this is like where it is.
Right.
I want it like right here.
Okay.
But so look at, here's your arms. Right here's the angle of your arms. This shaft is between your arms.
Okay.
Right, like it's here. Here's your arms like this. You had the shaft outside the right arm.
Got
So
it.
another way of saying, like probably your first junior clinic, they said point the club at the target.
Yes, they
right?
did.
Yeah, well, you point. Look at this is at St. Andrews, 18 and 1.
I saw that.
And I was in that little building there going, I waited my whole life to play St. Andrews, and I'm looking at the weather app, 41 degrees, gusts to 40-mile-an-hour winds. But I don't remember this building. I was there, I don't remember. It's something. The TrackMan wouldn't have put it on here. Your club is pointing left of that building.
Oh, wow.
So you got to say, okay, that's where your thumbs are on the club-ish, right? So you're pointing your thumbs over there, taking your thumbs and going like this. We're going to take the thumbs and point them more at your ear.
Okay, now, okay, that I can, let me see if I can lay this down. So I'm here.
Oh, no, there.
Okay.
Your thumbs are pointing
At the building.
almost off the screen,
Okay.
over here to the left, and we're going to get them to point.
All right, so let me see if I can feel that. So here to there.
Yep, and you're allowed to turn as much as you want. Look at that's right down Main Street right there.
The turning part is probably the hardest part for me.
That's
There-
it.
There you go. I can feel that. So I understand. So this is where I was.
And the way you got there, go ahead and start over.
Okay.
The way you got there was you started turning it right away.
Okay.
Now,
Understood.
let me tell you why somebody would do that. Why would somebody do that? I remember you used to kind of lay it off a little, not as much as Sissons. He fixed that, and he was never the same. You know that? I thought he was going to be a tour player. So if I couldn't turn much, hardly at all, little shoulders, but no hips, that's where the club would point. Or if I tried to do the, thumbs at the target, watch this. I couldn't really go any further. So as you stopped playing and got a little larger, like me.
Yeah, like all of us do.
But if I was turning like Billy Harrison to Bayou Berrier when you shot 70 in the first round, had to lead the city championship, and you turn this much, you wouldn't even think about pointing the club to the target. This would seem ridiculous.
Yeah.
So part of this pointing is going to be turning as much as you can early.
So I'm just going to practice this move real quick.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, here, so this was me,
Yep.
and then this is what we're looking for.
Yeah, and you can also go ahead and do that
Okay.
again. The no club version when you're practicing at school, right?
Which happens.
So look at this. So this is an elbow pit, right? This is an arm pit. The elbow pit's pointing here. This elbow pointing. If you can get this elbow pit to point more toward your ear and less
There.
toward the the office side of the studio, the thumbs will kind of go with it.
Okay.
This was a big Jimmy Ballard thing back in the days we were playing college golf together. Just keep your elbow down. That's what he meant.
Okay.
But I like people can see this.
Okay, so this is going to be quite the change.
Yeah,
That feels. I mean, I understand exactly what you're saying, and I can recreate it.
sure you can.
Yeah.
I'm the most excited person in America. Just see where this ball goes, because Vegas has it off the board. Nobody knows exactly. It could go anywhere.
So it's here, kind of.
And I would say, as a goal, Billy, I would make these two things. I always tell people, and if you're not of the right age in New Orleans, like you got to be at least 40. You know what Dixie beer looks like, real
Yes.
old, right? They look like the two Dixie beer things. That's the one you want to try to point it to. We're hoping for this,
Right.
but it's going to feel like
Aiming. Well,
the small Dixie beer spire right there.
Yeah. All right. Blue wall, good luck. All right.
See where it points. Look, it's playing right now. So it went from just give you a before and after here.
I just don't want to get worse. Okay.
Right, so it's better, right? Look at this
Yeah.
to your hands, right? The club head to your hands, way over there. And the club head now is almost behind the hands. What we'd like to see is the club head just barely appear on that side of the hands.
I can definitely see the club face in the second one, the one on the left.
So everything's a little bit better, but it makes swinging to the right so much easier because you're basically making a backswing. What people need to understand about whether the club is pointing left, laid off, or pointing right across the line is, if you lined up Ping Man or Iron Byron or any robot and go to parallel, right, and it was aiming straight down the middle of this fairway right here, it would point parallel to the target line. If you said, nah, let's see what that building is, let's hit one over there, and you took the whole machine and you just turned it over here, it would be laid off as Billy Harrison. Formally laid off as Billy Harrison. It would point over there. So it's just another way of saying you're making a laid off is just another way of saying you're making a backswing, maybe totally subconsciously, prepared to swing way over there. Except you swing inside out. You see? So that's a problem. So when people open the club face and roll their arm open so that the ball doesn't turn left as much. That's how you developed it. But then the club points over there because you don't play as much as you used to. You don't turn all the way. And now the club really wants to swing that way, but you're trying on the downswing to swing inside out, hit a draw, and that's the issue. Otherwise, you'd hit it as good as you always did.
I was here, they're pointing to the office,
Yeah.
and I want to be here,
Yes.
pointing down to that building.
Would be nice.
Yes.
Take your grip. I'm just going to grab the shaft and move you up there like this. This is the part right here where you would normally do this. It's going to feel like you're pushing it that way.
Okay, understood.
To go that way. That thing is over there.
A lot different.
Yeah.
This is going to take some range balls, but
And you know what? And in between class practice in school, you find yourself a window. It looks like a mirror because the lights are on, and you go, "Oop! Got to get my thumbs in my ear."
that one felt a lot better than the first one.
We can see on the overhead right here, you'll see exactly where the club was pointing at the top. We're trying to get it to point straight, still pointing a little bit that way. Do it again.
And I remember laying it off as a kid.
Yeah, you did. But you laid it off with a big turn.
Yeah. And now it's all gotten smaller. And
I would take that club head, look where I'm at back here with this camera. I would take that club head much more in, more than that, because you're going to try to go in here, right? Go ahead, nice and easy. In enough that you can just throw it over your shoulder a Dixie beer here.
I got you. I understand.
If you wanted to go that way on the upside down, then on the right side up, you got to come this way.
Okay, I'm going to aim for you. I can kind of see where you are in the back.
And
So
turn your chest while you do it. This would be the angle to watch here.
Well, it's definitely less laid off.
It's less laid off. The video is sound activated when you're loud.
I've kind of got
chest,
you,
everything coming.
I've got you in the back of my corner of my eye.
I love that right there. Beautiful. So the biggest difference between this position now, right, and the original swing we looked at was we see more club face. Even though this isn't the down we were looking at, I looked at the up too, and the up was the same club face.
I can see it.
Right, so that club's still getting closer to your hands. It gets on plane really easy. So this through part is getting better. Now I'm going to show you that sometimes when you're given a lesson, that's the obvious thing. And you go, well, the through coming out like this is maybe the effect, right? But sometimes, you fix the effect and it'll back into the swing. So go ahead and set up here.
Okay.
Like, I just hit it impact, right?
Okay.
Here we go. So you've been going like this. That thing needs to go there.
Okay, so that's the one move I want.
Oh, absolutely. You want that? That's literally right on that line right there. Pow! Okay, so the sound activated video works correctly this time. look at this club to the line, right?
Gotcha.
And then we'll take the swing you made. 5 is close enough. Look at that. It's not even the same. Is that possibly the same human?
It's got the same clothes on.
Yeah. But there's some reasons for that, right? Look at you're kind of this way, right? Because you're trying to make a swing that wants to go there, still swing inside out. So you're going, right? This is much more turned around. But the trick is, when I practice outside, pick something in the sky or a tree or something like that. Well, here you got the screen, right? So about 20 inches, 23 inches from the corner of the screen, visually, that's where that shaft has to go. Because yours has been going kind of where the ball's going. Look at this is going up the ball line, and this thing is going to the corner. And I think if you start going, I'm going to swing to the corner, then this will organize to make that easier. That's a theory, but it works a lot.
Let me see if I can repeat this, which I wish I could get my students sometimes to do, teaching math.
Here's a simple one. Good.
Okay.
For both of those, right?
All right.
So you go to the top and collapse your arms like you Harry Vardon wearing a coat, and put the club on your shoulder. Right? But where you can kind of see, right? Over here. So that club is now not laid off at all. Okay. Then going through with the same Harry Vardon coat on, you're just trying to put the club on your shoulder over here.
I understand.
Before, had you gone from here to trying to put it on your shoulder, you conk your coconut.
Yeah.
Right? That one that was straight up in the air. So if you just go club on your shoulder, like if you took something that was whippy, I wouldn't, I wouldn't recommend this. Okay, I made this rope too light. But if you just swing this rope, right? Got me right in the face, and then, right? That's where it would go, right? It would go right around the base of your neck, if you were just swinging it back and forth, right? And you were doing this. You're going.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it's hard to make it go fast. So some of the club head speed, it had nothing to do with how fast you can swing. You're just making the club do tricks.
Seeing that right there with the rope kind of brought it home, because the first time I saw the swing, I was like, I noticed a little bit of that. Like, I didn't learn how to play golf that way.
No, indeed.
That's developed over just not playing and losing flexibility.
Absolutely.
And all that stuff. And I guess a certain amount of kind of knowledge of what had to happen.
Yeah.
So my body would create it.
It would create something down here that made the ball look like a Billy Harrison shot.
Yeah. It did not too consistently.
No. You just do the arms, I'm going to do the new body here. Pow!
Yeah, and then come
All right,
down.
look at this at the top of the swing. Hey,
Whoa,
babes.
I didn't think I could ever get, and then over shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah, and the fact is, I never thought I'd be doing this with my life, but I have to wrestle men for a living.
I get it. I see that.
And let me just tell you, I didn't have to pull that hard to get you there.
WWF.
That was like one shot of WD-40 to get you there. Didn't need the whole barrel of it.
Well, one of the things, and I understand this, in the weightlifting, we do have stretching, and I'm not as attentive to that as I need to be.
Now you got something, you grab one of those big poles and try to cross the line with one of those barbells.
Okay, so I'm going to practice this in my mind. So I'm here. And then
No way you can get this point. I just made a little red dot further away from the camera or from the ball as you.
And then I want to work to here and
then
there.
Throw it on your shoulder. Absolutely.
That's the swing thought there.
Oh, man.
Shoulder to shoulder.
Make you an internet star.
Uh-huh. Okay,
See that finish though? That looked like
high.
That looked like a normal person finishing. Like I've seen that finish before. So it's getting there at the top. And see now it's a little high, right?
Yeah.
It's a little high, but down your back, good.
And I'm understanding you're communicating this very well to me, so I can hold these swing thoughts and take them out to the driving range.
So if you want to exact on the through, right? On your shoulder. But I did this orange because it's more visible, right? See, that's hairline is be ideal. right? Most famous picture in golf, right there, Hogan and Marion, right? If he dropped his arms down, it'd be perfect little hairdo. So you went a little
Gotcha.
high, and Jack Nicklaus finished. It's okay. He was all right.
He was a good player. I tell you what, I do enjoy the starter at the Masters. It's one of my favorite things. I'll catch it. I'll put it on live if I'm not in a class because I want to see what they look like.
I've seen a lot of these people. You get to our age. I saw Jack Nicklaus play when he was in his 30s and 40s, right? And he's 85 years old now. But anyway, I only got that. I saw Byron Nelson do a clinic at New Orleans Country Club. Could do a whole episode on that. He was younger than we are, your age now. And he look at when he was in his 70s, he married a 42-year-old lady. So he was no creakety old man, right? So, but I saw Snead tee off at the Masters twice, when he was old.
Right, no.
When he was old. When he said, now driving, Sam Snead. That's a hell of a job. You keep working that job at TPC, you might get over there.
Might be there. I have an autographed picture of Sam Snead, by Sam Snead. It was one of his last autographs.
How about that?
A student got it for me, just randomly ran into Sam Snead in 2000 in a course in Virginia, and it said $2 bill from Sam Snead.
How about that?
And
how good is that?
That is cool because you remember he used to putt.
Yeah, so
Like
I'd
We all did that as a junior golfer.
I thought if you went to putt golf, where we had 5 courses on Veterans Highway, right? I thought that if you putted with your regular putter, it would ruin your putting stroke. So I putted when I went on a date or with a couple guys during the summertime. It was 500 degrees out there.
Yeah.
I'm on top just like Snead.
Oh yeah.
And I can putt that way. I just never really gave it a real,
We all did it just to pretend.
real try.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see if we can get this rib cage here. Feel like that's leading the parade. There you go. There. And now coming through. Come on. Zip, 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 zip. And
Right
then
there.
Perfect little hairdo right there. Man,
Here we go.
the world is waiting.
I feel like I fell off that one a little bit.
Yeah, and the finish is starting to, didn't give you a haircut there, but it was good otherwise.
As a numbers guy,
Right?
I have noticed that the ball speed and club speed has increased in the last 4 or 5 swings.
Yeah, so if we go back here to 78, 80, 9 swings ago, now we're 82, 81, right? It should. You saw that rope thing when I tried to imitate your swing.
Yeah, this is fascinating. This has got me. See, now I have something to practice. And I think for the last X number of years, I had nothing to practice.
Yeah, no.
So you just play by feel.
People don't, they might watch a YouTube tip. There's no tip here, folks. That butt of that club.
Right there.
Yeah. Right. And then look at one more, the butt of the club at the target before it comes here and gives you a haircut. Not that you need one. So on this one right here, with the whole world watching, this club is going to point to Cooper Manning's Russack's Hotel right here. He took a couple lessons here and he came over and he looked at this and he went, tell your TrackMan guys we built a little building right there they need to add it. It wasn't cheap. That's the Russack's right there.
All right, so I'm aiming.
You're trying to take the club away from Russack's, so that's toward me back there in the corner, and then swing toward Russack's, and then point the club one more time at Russack's. But at the top of the swing, get the thumbs and the club. Just exaggerate the across,
See if
the
I can.
in and across as much as you can.
I don't know if that was worse or better.
That might have been a little worse, but
Yeah.
I mean, I think the through was better.
Okay, that's high. I get that. I can see it. That is not
here-
quite what you want yet.
So this is a Nerf ball.
Okay.
Set up to that Nerf ball, and look on the video. So somebody has planted a little Italian tree, olive tree, right? Look at if you don't finish on that line, you hit this tree.
I get it.
All right.
Now, this is
And if
where
you hit me with that Nerf ball, it might sting, but it ain't gonna hurt.
I need a student to do this in class.
Why not?
All right, let me see what we got here.
Lower is low. to
Guess it was.
let's see how much you got. I think you only got about 10 inches of it. Yeah. And that first swing you made today would hit a bunch, right? So just a little lower, looking more like a regulation. Billy Harrison always had a shot from the trees, always.
You know, one of the best things I ever learned in golf about hitting the ball in the trees. Some instructor, maybe late 70s, early 80s, so I'd have been 15, 16, 17, always said hit 5 to 10 punch shots every time you hit. And that is, so you have, because you're going to hit the ball in
One, you're going to learn to get your hands forward. You might need that. You might need that as a little therapy. And two, you'll have the shot when you...
Yeah, and you know, that more than any of all the lessons I had over the years, that has stuck with me.
So here's one for you right here. So I don't remember too much about my career at UNO. I said I led the nation in effort and histrionics.
Wow.
And I still do, right? I still lead the nation in histrionics. So anyway, we were playing in Manny at Toro Hills, Louisiana Intercollegiate.
This was before my time, man.
Yeah. And I had a shot, par 5, I think, because I hit a decent length tee shot and it went down in a little hazard like this, but there was no water in it. So I had a lie, and I got 3 wood, and I'm thinking, it's not supposed to, isn't it supposed to go left? But I didn't know the whole thing about loft and lie. So it's not a loft on a 3 wood. So it really doesn't go left. Like if you hit a wedge off of a hill like this, it goes straight left. So I somehow, with the ball up here, just absolutely flushed it. And that golf course had trees everywhere on both sides of the fairway. And it went through the trees, and I'm going, it passed 50 trees and didn't hit one. And I'm thinking, first of all, am I going to find this thing? So I kind of remembered I might have to take stroke and distance. So I kind of looked at where I was. I went in the trees. That ball was sitting absolutely perfect bare grass, bare dirt lie. I'm looking back where I came from. I'm going, how did the ball, I can't go this way. I can't go through. I mean, I could have, but it might have taken me. I'd still be there.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like 60 trees. So I put the ball in my pocket and took stroke and distance. And those guys had never seen that before, those 2 guys I was playing with. I said, boys, you can look it up after. No, I'm not going to hit. They asked me, well, you hit 2 balls. I went, I don't have to hit 2 balls. You can take stroke and distance over and over if you want to. I went back there and made 7. But even if you would have been Houdini, you couldn't get it. I think some people got to realize sometimes the best thing is not to try the hero shot and just take your medicine. So here we go. Do it again. One more time underneath this noodle.
That's the goal.
If this was a branch of an old tree right here, you would not
want to hit it.
Well, no, it's your shaft. You just got those new clubs.
Oh,
yeah, but it was closer. No, but I mean, the point
I really
is,
concentrated on that.
The point is, watch this. It's closer the whole way. The best top of the backswing position. See, I really thought we could do a whole segment on why I thought this. I really thought that if you rounded out the finish, right, and didn't go so high and straight through. Look at that club.
That is an improvement.
Yeah, we'll take that and go to the bank, right? And the face is going to start squaring up, and you just kind of ran into the ground right there.
Yeah.
Mini shanked it. But see the 2 things there. 1, closer to and parallel to the line, and 2, that butt of the club pointing down the fairway. Let's see you do that with a real ball.
Yeah.
Doobie doobie doo. This is going to be fun right here, boys.
You're the one having fun.
Yeah, no, it's always fun. If this wasn't fun, Billy, I'd have quit a long time.
Oh, I understand.
Make a backswing. You've done a lot of coaching. You know how much fun it is.
Yep.
Get somebody to do something they didn't think they could do or really wanted to do and couldn't do it yet. Nothing better in the whole world. Ooh, that ball's hit a little bit now.
That ball what?
That ball's hit a little bit now. That ball is hit for a toe ball. That ball's hit a little bit.
Yeah, that was a toe.
So even though it's not moving as much as you think, okay? So you got a stick in class. Grip it short, so grip it down here with about 15 inches toward the head, like this. Look at.
Okay, so right about there?
No, like way up here. All the way to my hand.
All right.
And you put this on your belt. And then you pretend it would reach, right?
Okay.
So you're just reaching. Now, watch me once. right away, get it off of your belt, right? And then never hit yourself with this end. See, watch this. Look, watch me do it. I got it off my belt early in the takeaway. And now, boom, right? If I make the Billy Harrison showed up swing, it'll whip me. Right? And then you can also see, because you got this much in the end of the club, where this is pointing. You want this to point very slightly to the right of parallel to everything.
So let me see if I can imitate that. So this is what it looks like.
That's it.
This is a good drill to do in class, yeah.
Yeah, because they won't know what you're doing. Do they call you Mr. Harrison or Mr. Bill?
Mr. Harrison, and they don't understand the Mr. Bill with the Saturday Night Live.
Oh yeah,
I hated that.
Yeah.
But they don't know what they're doing when they go, Mr. Bill. I'm like, oh God.
So you were at Country Day, and that's boys and girls, or just
boys and girls?
And now you might be at Dominican,
which will be all girls.
Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett's, and all girls.
Yeah, it'll be the
Have
first
you done
time.
that?
Never,
No?
never. And so it'll be a nice change.
Yeah, my goddaughter Liz Bartlett there, Tom Bartlett's daughter.
Okay.
She's there, and she's just that little group of girls. They're smart.
They work just as hard, if not.
So they won't mind you. They got a golf team. They won't mind you doing exercise.
Yeah, at least the right kids won't. You know, they might look at me a little.
So remember where that. Watch this. Go ahead and take your grip. That butt of the club was basically my hand, right? So you couldn't do that because it would whip you. It kept it off of you, up to the top. There you go.
Let's try it.
And then under the Brian tree on the other side would be nice.
That seems to be the harder part at this point.
I bet you it is.
Oh, that was heavy. And I could. Let me try another one.
You take this belt right here. You pull this thing and pull this rib cage around early, like almost it's leading the parade. You're going to hit this ball 10 yards further than the last one.
I'm still high, but.
Yeah, but your ball speed went up to 115. Yeah, it went more than 10 yards further than the last one, right? 137, 164, and that went 162 in the air.
Okay.
You know, the total rollout's not that big a deal. Let's see how this swing looked here, because I'm pretty happy with this. See, that's a little more in. I think that's key. The in gives you a chance to do the curve here.
And then it gets a little high there. That move seems to be a little more.
So let me show you this.
Ingrained in my memory.
Let me show you this real quick, because you obviously the visuals help too, right? So this is the track of the club head, right? Probably the high point right there. And here's where it comes down. So this little last piece, right? I missed my little club head right there at the very end, but you get the idea. This track coming down, there was no name for it. So I had some goofy name. I'm pretty good at naming things, but I had a goofy name, and my dear friend Rick Dandy said, down track. It's the down track. So now I coined a couple phrases in this crazy business. So anyway, that down track would hit you right here, wouldn't it? Right? Yeah. We wanted to hit your neck.
Okay.
Right. So if we took, let's see who we got here. Right. As that club came down, right, it came down right at his neck. So that club lines up with his hands better. Right. That's a good thought. Is that the track of this club that you had kind of made almost look like this. Kind of went this way and then that way. We're trying to curve it this way, so it comes back toward your neck. Because when I swung the rope, it was toward the neck, and that last swing would have missed the neck a little bit. Although it's better.
You know, just living in the dark ages for the last 43 years and never seeing my swing, just has got put swing thoughts in my head that I actually can practice.
When I got my first video camera at City Park in 1985, Sony Handycam was the first one piece. I bought it. And I had an order for it like 3 months before it came out. So I was like, I definitely was the first person to have it. The other teachers at the park, did not want anybody to see this one. They didn't want them to know that they were telling them one thing and they were actually doing something else. And I'm not saying they were doing it with bad intentions.
No.
But reality is reality, right? And reality will slap you in the face. It didn't help them slow it down any.
I'm still high. but I can feel it now. I know what it feels like now. I can see it on the video, and I can feel it. See, I can feel that.
Yeah, it's a little high.
Before, I never felt it.
Now watch this. Multiple Nerf balls. Here you go. This would be the greatest drill ever. If somebody could ever figure out how to do this with a real ball, because what will happen is if you put the stick long enough and the ball goes straight, the ball hits the stick on this end. But what you're trying to do is you're trying to make a swing that wouldn't hit this stick going or coming. It would go under in both directions.
All right, so swing away.
Yeah. Don't hit the stick.
Look where my finish is. It's lower.
Yeah, well, because you curved the through to, you know, in your mind to miss the stick going through, and that was a better finish.
It was open.
Because you know, basically what you were doing is you were trying to make it look like this, and the swing should look like a curve like that. And if it made a curve like this, right? If it made a curve like this, and I held the stick here, wouldn't hit it neither. That's just a good little visual. You know, it has to exit, come in low from the inside, and exit low from the inside. So it would be under the stick in both directions.
You really have honed your craft, my friend.
All you need is somebody not to be able to do it. And then you keep trying to figure out a way, right? There's the backswing. Just, you can get that back. If I could take two of my scrawny hands that can do 2 push-ups, maybe 3, and I can twist you that way, damn it, you do it this time.
Let's see. Still high. Okay, but the backswing feels better. I feel like I've got that a little bit. Oh my gosh, it's closer. It's almost down the line.
Now, you know what's funny? This is a little thing here for all the folks. I may have had it on another episode. I don't care. Some things, you know how that is. You've been a teacher a long time. Once usually ain't enough.
No.
So this is a sort of an epidemic in golf. Nobody in modern golf thinks that that's laid off, because it looks from this particular camera angle, which is a very average down the line camera angle. But we have an overhead camera over here. Right? So when you look at the overhead camera and you see where the club is actually pointing at the top, okay?
Yeah,
it looks like it's parallel to everything in this room,
but it's not.
but it ain't. And if it was parallel here, it would look slightly across
the line.
Yeah. Hit me 2 more good ones.
All right, here we go.
Give you the
This has motivated me to go to the driving range.
Well, I
I
hope
have
so.
something to work on. Because that's the thing for many of us regular golfers who play once, twice a month. We don't have anything to work on.
Most people are just hoping they can ball flight and contact and figure it out. And there is no way you were going to figure out the club was laid off or finishing high.
No, not
By the ball flight.
Not a chance.
No.
No, you know, you go out there just trying to, like you said, flight the ball and figure out what you're doing today and then work with it a little bit.
And just like I tell everybody that comes here for lessons and everybody who's been on the show for lessons, listen, you have to hit a certain amount of shots just doing the thing. I'm going to make this club point to the Dixie beer thing this time for the cash. Let's see it.
Still high.
I made too much noise. 6 degrees inside out. Watch here. Here we go. So you could see at the top, it just was a little, so it could be more in. See, early on, not quite pointing. It's going to feel like almost this way to get that thing to point. Here, let's try one more for Coach Brown. I went to his wake. It was a dearth. What is the right word? Dearth. A dearth of players. I thought there'd be a lot more. And you know what I didn't know? This is unbelievable. Like, you see the drums over there? I don't know if you remember. I was a drummer. He was a drummer his whole life. He was in the assisted living and in the nursing home with his drums, banging drums for everybody. I'm going, you know? But you know what he proved? Let me tell you what he proved. There's a lot of overcoaching in college golf. He didn't overcoach anybody. He had won his national championships, and he was just saying, okay, he had a captain every year. I was a captain my senior year. Bring the scorecards, Brian. We qualify every day. and he played the best players, and everybody knew that.
He did do that.
I had 2 real good tournaments at the beginning of my senior year, 2 good ones, and then top 20s. And the third tournament, we had like a 9-round qualifier, and I went at the end, and they took a kid that had never played in the tournament. He played terrible. I remember Doug.
No.
Doug, he wasn't really like.
Oh, I do think I do.
He was a little older guy. He might have been in his mid-20s. But anyway, Doug went. I didn't go, and we played but it was fair. I shot the 83 in the last round of qualifying. Okay, here we go.
I do remember Doug.
I hope he's still around. He was a good dude. There's one thing about that group. That was a nice group to travel with. And we had some fun. That's actually across the line. And I don't hear you going, ooh, ah, ee, ee.
No, I can make that stretch.
So you can 100% do it. If people all over the world watching this, you got to show them, hey, babes, I used to be able to play this game. Let me show you how I'm going to point that club over there. But it was better. It's just noticeably, look, good numbers. The shot's going to be great with 1.6 inside out and 0.5 face.
Yeah, I mean, that was fun.
That was more fun than a
Thank
little
you,
bit.
man. That was
Love
really
you dearly,
good.
buddy. So much fun we had in the day, huh?
Oh, boy.
There's a lot of, I played football. I don't know if you played any other sports. And
Basketball.
Basketball. Let's say you would have played basketball in college. I don't think those guys have the same relationship with the guys they play in basketball with as a golfer.
You're with people, the same people for 6 hours.
Yes, and then you travel.
Right.
And then there's only 6 of you. Everybody's going to dinner together. Everybody's sitting at the same table, and it's a great experience. And you made it fun, buddy.
Well,
Thanks
thank you
for coming out.
I appreciate it, and this has been fantastic. I have something to work on for the first time in 40 years on the range.
We expect a report.
I might, when you put something up on Facebook, 6 months from now, I might come back for a little checkup.
Awesome.
All right, Brian, thank you.
I know you see the studio in the sky here on the Brian Manzella Show from all angles with our great team from Lettuce Media. You probably wonder, what in the heck is all this junk? Well, 99% of it is there for a reason. Today, we worked with a young lady that needed something I was going to throw away. Literally, this little 2-piece of a pool noodle, something to hit or miss. We're going to go from one side to the other and show you why I have them and whether or not they're worthwhile having for your use in your little setup, whether it's indoors or out. Okay, first thing. Dear friend of mine, Martin Chuck, Tour Striker Golf. Right, they have a bunch of things. I have another device right there. This is a smart ball. You put it around your neck, and you get it to where you can put this between your arms. This part really doesn't do anything, but it's there so you don't have to keep chasing the ball around. It's supposed to be like between your forearms, like I'm doing right here, and then more or less would be between your forearms the whole swing. I really don't like the arms this close together at the top. I would rather you drop them. So if you were working on a Brian Manzella backswing, you would start with the smart ball in between your forearms and then drop it at the top of the swing. But if you wanted to say when would you use it and keep it between the forearms, a little short little pitch, little 7-iron run-up shot at the British Open right here. That's what this is good for. This is sort of a swing fan. This one's from Full Swing Golf. The folks with TGL, right, the launch monitor company, and a friend of mine who's a great golf pro was hired by them to do some classic training aids. This is one of the ones they did. So this is a device that's been around as long as I've been teaching. And what I used to think the best use of this was swinging it hard because it was trying to slow me down, and then that would help me swing faster. And you know what? Maybe some of the time, for certain people it would. But in the world that I live in now, the forces and torques, golf kinetics, I realized that this, with this fan, is hard to do. Alpha rotation. So if I put the white straight up like this, on this axis is very hard to do with this orientation of the fan. So what I do, because I have problems with over pulling and not rotating enough, is I, from the top, really try to release this as soon as I can to line it up for impact. So I'll swing it for you right here. When I'm trying to get the bottom of that thing to pass my hands as soon as I can. And when I grip a golf club, I'm not over handle dragging 1 second after using this. This is a neat device. You know what? I used this yesterday, and it sat here for about 3 months. I have 3 of them, they're all a little different. This was invented by a good dear old friend of mine named John Rohan Weaver. I don't know who sells it now. It's called the Power Angle. But basically, what it's made for is you do the little training grip, and then there's this little part on the upper part of this that you put on your upper arm. It would be like if I was hitting a 30-yard wedge shot, just set my wrist right away. And then you can do that on a full swing if you want. And for people that have really funky swings, organizing this to this position is probably a good idea. But then the other use of it is you can feel from the top of the swing how to keep it there for a little while before you have to obviously line the club up for impact. Neat little device. We'll do one more today. Y Golf. Really neat guys at Y Golf, good people. Little disc, little plastic disc, 58 degrees, 50 degrees, 65 degrees. Just so it turns out you would probably use the 58 for like a 7-iron, 8-iron, the 50 for a driver, the 65 for a wedge, and you can put it in one of these things. This is complete foam right here. And let's just say you wanted to not swing too far inside out. You would line this thing up on the same angle as the shaft. So I should put it on, no, this is the right one, 65. And I give myself about 4 inches gap right there. And now I know I'm trying to keep that 4-inch gap going and coming. If I'm swinging too inside out, I'm going to hit that, and I'm not going to hurt myself or the device. Might hurt my feelings. But if you're below planar, you put it like that. You maybe even get it a little bit harder to do. No problem. And let's just say you had the opposite problem. Outside in, put it on this side. Put the ball just inside the line that the foam noodle is going to. Swing inside of it. You can get really close. And most slicers right over the top would come that way. You can get used to coming from the inside and making it a really productive practice session. Always some good training aids being thought of every day. There's a lot of them that aren't being made anymore. They're on eBay. I'll try to keep y'all all updated on which ones are worth using.